Oh,
Man, I didn't comb my hair.
oh yeah, right. Like I did. Yeah. Okay, we are live. First, let me welcome you all. I'm really, really glad to see you here. I want to help. The reason I'm doing it this way, rather than try and present how to do something here and take questions while you're doing it, I figured it's better to get the whole thing out of the way. You had time you could watch the video, rewind it, get parts, whatever, and then I just do a follow up rather than actually run through the planning of it because you already know that. Now, especially now that Darius has put out that hosting guide too, and I hope all of you downloaded and kept a copy of that because it'll help in the long run. And so I will just simply say I'm open for questions. Who's got it?
Hi, Roxanne.
Hey.
Hey, Roxanne, and I don't know
Hi,
where
Rox.
Michael is. So nobody's got any questions. I'm shocked. I see Michael is muted. Are you people kidding me? You really don't have any questions about how to set up a room after watching all that? I am tickled to death. All right, we'll close this and move on to something else. Uh, I'm astounded, people. Surely, 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 surely. Okay.
I probably did, I'll be honest here, I probably didn't pay enough extended attention to get enough in my head to ask, good questions.
Okay, well, ask not good ones then. I'm flexible, you know.
Uh,
The,
I have a question.
okay.
How do you control the video playing in the pre-meeting room before the meeting starts? You can have a video playing, but is there a way to repeat that, play it several times over, or any information on that?
Basically, what you do is when you're talking about when you're setting up a room, right?
Right.
Okay, you go in when you set up your room. It allows you on the to put in your 5 rotating ads
Right.
or your video. Okay, you put it in there. Then when you use that room for an event, unless you replace that with something else, that will be the default for that event. So people come into that event, that video is going if you have one, or their ads are rotating, whichever. Uh, if you take the video during the event, if you take the video out, go up and click on the little gear wheel and take the video out, it will default to the 5 rotating ads that you put in when you set up the room. Then if you want to put another video in while the thing's going on, you just get its URL, click the gear wheel, copy and paste it in. Then the next time that you come into the room, your original video should still apply because it's a new event. It's not for the same event. And quite truthfully, I tend to use one room more than I do the other and play with it. But you could, depending on the subject matter that you had, if you had a room that you wanted to discuss physics in, you could have set up a room, do a physics video, set up another room, and do some sort of art video if they're art students. So you've got a room for each type of event you're going to hold, and you could set those up and define them ahead of time. That way, when you go to set up the event, most of that stuff carries over and you don't have to do it again. It's already there. But if you do set up an event, and you do put something while setting up the event into the video thing or the 5 rotating ad thing, they will overrule what is the room default. That was what was confusing me to begin with because I kept typing the same thing in over and over, and I kept saying, I shouldn't have to do this. Once I entered it, it should be there, you know. And I didn't understand that doing it in the event would overrule what was already in the room. The room carries forward unless you put something else in that field, basically.
Thank you.
I think I've got that right. Michael, is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Ted, the only thing that I would add to that, if you were asking, can you repeat a video, have it in there, and then have it repeat once it's done? I'm not sure if that's what you were asking, but if it
That was part of it, yes.
Okay. No, you cannot, because you can't add anything. I think the repeat is equals R or something for repeat or something, rewind or repeat. And you can't have any of those codes in there. You can only have a straight YouTube video. So if you wanted to do like a video, just record it 3 times and put it all in the same YouTube video, and then it'll repeat itself that way. That would be the only thing that I can give you as advice in
That's
that
good.
part of it.
Good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. I saw somebody's head come in from the side. Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
When
This
you
could
have
be good.
when you have a room
Mm-hmm.
and you preemptively put in, let's say in the not the upper right, but the login banner,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to put anything in when you do your normal setup? Let's say I go in to set up an event, but I'm using this particular room that has a banner in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to add a banner in the registration or the login after that?
Okay. This gets complicated. You should not have to put in a login banner in the event if you have put one in the room. I say should not. If, however, you use a banner, custom banner on the registration page, then that is supposed, and you don't put it in the event, and you don't put anything in the login banner, that is supposed to default to whatever banner you put on the registration page rather than what's in the room. I'm still not clear on that myself. And I think Michael and we did some testing and we found out I don't think it's working like they think it's supposed to work. Is that correct?
I don't know. I was hoping you knew the answer on that. No, actually, I think the if you put something in the registration, if you're going through the process and you put something in registration, it'll override everything. It'll put that banner in everything. You don't need it anywhere else. If you have something just in the banner, I think that's just for when you log in, but it has nothing to do with the registration, so it'll go to the default if you require registration. Because I think if you go to a room right now, any room, and choose one of your rooms, and then go to the login page and banner, I think it defaults to when you log in, not when you register. I believe. Now I could be wrong on that, but
that would make total sense.
Oh well, I don't ever try and make sense. So.
Well, no, but it's true. If you are requiring registration and you have a registration page, that's when nothing in the login banner defaults to the registration banner. But if you're not requiring registration and it's the event, then you don't have a registration banner for that event. You've only got the login banner, and that's already set in the room. And yeah, that's the answer, I think. I'll test it out later on several of my accounts by inviting myself, and I into one and check it out to be sure. But
so hopefully we've confused everyone. So
yeah. If anybody's confused, don't raise your hand because we're with you.
No. Raise it. I think that's right.
I'm just kidding. They know that. So, anything else?
Why set up a room?
Usually is to save a lot of retyping, especially if you are holding events on different types of subjects. A room per subject is a great thing. Like you with your umpiring in one room, and you with your Pixlr stuff in the other, and the user-to-user stuff in the third. You don't have to retype all that stuff, especially if you got rotating ads that you know constantly having to go out and get the URLs for to copy and paste in. If it's a time saver, labor saver. Yeah. Besides, it's just cool to do. Does that answer your question, Michael?
Yep.
I tried to prepare for this because I knew you would ask questions. I knew that you probably also knew the answers when you asked them. You were testing me, but that's perfectly all right too.
Under room properties, you have something that says moderators.
Mm-hmm.
If you have moderators listed in that room, do you need to put the moderators also when you're setting up an event?
No. No. You in fact, if you add, you can add moderators to the event, but if you've got moderators there that you want all the time, it just carries over to the event. You don't have to add them.
How many moderators can you have in a room?
3.
In a room?
Oh, in a room. No, in a room you can have unlimited.
Right.
It's in an event that you can have 3.
Right. So what you're saying is if I have 10 moderators listed, the first 3 that come into the event those 3 will only have moderator ability because it's only a 3 per event, but a room can have unlimited moderators.
I would think so. I've never had a room or an event that had more than that. You know, I've got like 4 full-time moderators that I use, and I don't know that I've ever had more than that even listed in a room. Yeah. And the bell account you can have more than 3, but you got to be careful how you use that bell account, because any name that goes on that bell account will get an email alert every time somebody comes into that room. Not only will they get an alert then, they will also get an alert anytime anybody answers that alert and goes into the room to talk to somebody. So if I go into a room, Michael's on the bell list, he gets a notification. If the rest of you are on that bell list, you also will get a notification. And then when somebody comes in to help, they get a notification. You'll get a notification there, and then another person on the bell list comes in to help them. And I mean, it could snowball into just, millions of notifications flying around as everybody comes into the room. So you got to be careful. And the best thing to do is if you are on a bell list and you get a notification, a second notification that somebody's entered your room almost after the first one, you can almost bet that that's somebody else on the bell list that is answering that first one. So there's no need for you to go rushing to the room because somebody's already in there helping. Especially if you know that that person is on the bell list. Like if I see some new person come in and I go in to help them, and Mike gets a notification that I've entered that room, he knows I'm on the bell list, so there's no need for him to come in since I'm already there, because him coming in will just trigger another round of alerts. And I have no idea how many of you are actually using the bell list feature anyway. It's I played with it for a while, but and I'm sort of a different case because I'm on the computer all the time anyway, most of the time, except when I'm napping. So I usually, didn't bother because I get the notification and I'm there to go in. Any questions about that? I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying be careful how you use it. Yes, Michael.
If you have let's say I have an event that I want to do,
Okay.
and I would like to start out with not showing, say, the participants column.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
How do I do that?
If you look up, it's something new that they've added as a host and a moderator too, I believe. If you click the little gear wheel, it says participant setting up next to the participant's name, and where you set collaboration or presentation mode, they've added some stuff. You can show the attendees or not. You can show the top banner or not for your viewers. So if that banner's there, that goes away. You can show the chat or not. You can show the viewer account or not. You can allow the chat export or not, and you can make the film strip visible or not. So if
you're talking about in here, though, right? You're talking about in the event. I thought we were talking about rooms.
Oh. Rooms, I don't think you have that.
If we go to account, and then you go to rooms.
Uh-huh.
And then under room properties, if you wanted to have a video and that's all you wanted, you could take attendees visible, make them hidden. You could take banner visibility, make it hidden, and you can make the chat visibility hidden. You can make all three of them under the first room properties.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did add that there.
You can make all three of those so all they see is the video. That's it.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted just the banner and the video, you could do that.
Yes.
Or if you just wanted the video and the chat, you could do that. You know, let's say you want them to be able to come in and chat on the video that's playing on the left-hand side that they first walk in and see. The only thing that you would have to change that you can't set up here is the view of 4 quadrants, 2 side by side, or a single. You have to change that once the event's made, and you'd have to come back and do that. So that's the only thing that's not a room function that you could do ahead of time.
Yeah, I'd forgotten they added that to room. I knew they'd added it to events, but totally slipped my mind. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Let me ask you all this. How many of you downloaded the host manual?
I did.
You know, I again recommend that. It's a good read through. I'm going back through it a second time. In fact, I had started working on something like that, but just for the page setup thing, I was copying and pasting each screenshot into a WordPress thing and the whole. And when that came out, I said, "The heck with it," you know, and stopped right there because they were doing a much better job than I was doing, and I didn't see any sense to make an inferior copy of something they already had done. I know when to cut my losses. Leela, you have a puzzled look on your face. What you looking at?
I'm just still trying to figure out, for us, the only thing I'm coming up with, and maybe I still don't have a really good grasp of this whole thing, is doing our private coaching, because they don't have to have a Google Plus account to come in. But I'm trying to think of, like, I keep trying to figure, there is not really a social, quote-unquote, aspect to this, like a regular Hangout, right?
Depends on what you mean social.
Well, you know how with a regular Google Hangout, you've got the event and other people can see it. This is more, private is not the word I want to use, but this is more, I don't know, isolated is not the word I want to use either. I'm having a real hard time wrapping my head around, other than our live coaching, which would be easy because then they can just click in, and if they have a Facebook account, and get in there. I'm just trying to wrap my head around all the things that for us particularly, besides the private, that this might be able to be used for. And actually it could be used for the student dog trainers too. but it doesn't have the social aspect that a regular Google Hangout on Air event has, correct?
Well, no, it does. It's just different. Basically, if we've got everybody here in the film strip, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any viewers. The people that are commenting on the Google event page where they leave the comments and everything, basically they are viewers.
Right.
So this is, if they were here, instead of leaving their comments on the event page, they would be leaving their comments in the unified chat.
Right.
Which is something that the Google people don't have access to.
Right. They don't have a unified chat, right?
No, the participants in the film strip have their chat that they can chat back and forth, and then the viewers have their comments that they can leave on the event page. Here's unified chat, and we get to use it, and the viewers get to use it. So actually, you can be more socially here than you can on the Google event page, unless, as a film strip, you've got that page split out somewhere where you can actually see the events, have the video on one side, the events on the other, and comment into their event thing too, and into your chat thing. But basically, it's the same thing, only it's arranged different. Instead of having this chat run below the video, it's off to the side where it's always seen. But it's basically the same thing.
The event that is produced on here is not out in the mainstream of Google Plus because it's not Google Plus.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's the part that I'm trying to. I understand it. I'm just trying to think. Okay, so for us, this would have two purposes, which would be private coaching calls with clients, and then for the dog training students, which would work well.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else that I wanted to do to try and get what we do well known, like with this blog pause thing coming up, which is not ours but somebody else's, for some visibility. If I want to start garnering visibility and reputation, it's going to have to be a regular Google Plus event.
Yeah, well, you could do a combination of both. See, normally, if you notice, when I set one of these up, I set up a Google Plus event, and then I put the link to this into the little ticket thing when you're setting it up, and I disable comments on the event page, on the Google event page. Okay, you could do exactly the same thing, but you wouldn't necessarily have to disable the events on that page, you know. And I don't know, but what you could then take and put the Michael, could you then take and show this video on the Google event page itself as well?
I mean, you could, but why? Here's the deal, Leela. What do you want? Okay. Do you want Google Plus people? Do you want anybody to see this? I mean, anybody that follows you? Do you want this out in the public? What do you want? Because you can put any Google post out there, but nothing's going to get them. You could have a link to this. Even an event. Let's say you put an event. You're getting ready to do an event, and it goes out as a post. Same as this. Nothing's different. You have to click on that to start the event in a Google Plus event. There's just not an event sitting out there. Not like in a community. It's a post with the event that you click to go to that event. This is the same thing. Click to come in. You got everything right here. And post in Google Plus, the more you put out there, the more you've got. You can reshare, you can send that, you can do all the same things you can do with a normal event. You can make this a public event.
Okay.
So if you want people watching from YouTube or just people that have your email, they can't do that over on Google Plus and be collaborative. They can't leave a comment unless they're on Google Plus. They can come watch because you can give them the link to the event, but they cannot interact. Okay. This is more interactive because now they can actually go to YouTube too and see your event live as it's going on. It's using a YouTube video, a Hangout. So this is more collaborative with more different people because you can make it a public event for God and everybody.
Okay. All right,
And-
that helps a lot.
And you can put a huge, beautiful graphic up there on a post and just have the link where they click to come in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You could do it
Yes.
a lot more beautiful than say a banner or whatever. You can make it however you want with a collage of pictures or something however you want with a Google post. There's a lot of freedom in a Google Plus post. But if you want just Google Plus people, or you want like somebody that has a dog on Google Plus to come in because they follow you in the public, there's nothing different.
Okay, so see that helped me because for some reason I had my mind wrapped for some reason that with this,
It's confined.
yes,
Isolated, confined. It's inside a box.
exactly.
But here's the other thing. Here's the beautiful thing that I think is even better than that, okay? You want them to your website. Say, hey, come to our event. Click this link. It takes them to the website where this is the only thing. This is embedded on your website.
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely embedded on your website. They come in here and the whole hangout's taking place on your website. That's even better
Mm-hmm.
than doing it because now you're driving them to your website. Folks, Google Plus, who knows what's going to happen with Google Plus? You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Vic Gundotra left for a reason. Okay? I'm just throwing this out there.
Mm-hmm.
He left for a reason, and this is all his baby. He designed and made all this stuff. I'm not saying it's going away, but I'm saying there's going to be some serious changes possibly. And their focus, you can tell they got rid of all of their community managers and all this kind of stuff. Something's up. So if you're going to drive everything into this, and that's where you have all your eggs, get it back to your website. It's just my word of advice. Take it, tell me, you can say you heard it from me first.
Well, and I agree with that because your website you own,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and so
Yes.
you own that puppy, and so
Yes.
that's where you should always drive your traffic to is your website, and then
Hey, we're not talking about rooms anymore, though, Andrew. If you want to end this, you can, unless somebody else has
Oh,
questions
Oh,
about
so-
rooms.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I got off
No,
track.
that's fine. I don't want to. No.
No, that's good because I think unless anybody's got any more questions about rooms.
Anybody? Because this doesn't
No.
need to go out live. All this, we're just chatting.
Yeah. We'll just end